The Noob Spearo podcast, guys, 10 years deep. If you're new here for the first time, welcome to the Spearfishing podcast where we interview legends, frothers from all over the planet. I've been having a blast delivering them to you for all these years. We're not far off 300 episodes, and I was just reminded of it, and I'm just pretty grateful, to be honest, to every single person that listens to the podcast and tells their mates about it, is a patron now or has been a patron in the past. Everyone that's sort of given back. Massive appreciation to you guys. Today's episode, it was really cool. For me, it reminded me so much of my childhood and young adulthood growing up in New Zealand. These boys are absolute legends. Chase and gather. Chasing game, gathering food from the wild. Follow them on Instagram, Chase and gather. Chase and gather on YouTube is their main efforts. But it's four blokes having a bunch of fun. So today I chat with Michael, Rudi and Danny from Chase and Gather. I think we're only missing one of them. So two expats, South Africans living in New Zealand, one Kiwi bloke, and there's another Kiwi bloke in there as well. But these guys have a lot of fun. They have a sort of a good, healthy, that ego check balance between each other as you do with a good bunch of friends. I really enjoyed sort of the banter and interplay between these guys and some good information in here as well, some good stories. So I hope you enjoyed today's interview with these fellas. They were a lot of fun. Before we get there, I have got a quick voice message. It's a rant by Ricky. You might remember him from the boat ramp headlights guy. He has got a rant about someone that I know very well. It could even be me. Anyway, let's have a listen to Ricky.
Yeah, g'day, Shrek. Ricky here again from Rants with Ricky. I got a little rant here from a recent trip out off the local where we took this muppet out with us for the day. Cut a long story short, all day we've been telling this bloke, listen, mate, whatever you do, don't shoot any of the big cod off these spots. These nice big cod are what makes these places special, and that's why there's really nice fish around here. That's what we believe anyway. So, anyway, come the end of the day, we're at this last spot, and old mate comes up from a dive, and he's like, Oh, bro, there's a nice little cod down there. It's only a little one. It's only a wee one. Can I shoot it, bro? Please, I haven't got any fish in the box. And if I don't take any fish home, my missus might not let me go spearfishing again. So anyway, I was like, righto, how big's this cod? We've been talking about this all day. Don't shoot the big cod. How big we talking? And he's like, oh, bro, it's only probably 6 kilos, about 6 kilos, yeah. So I was like, all right, I'm feeling sorry for this bloke, as you do. He's probably got about a 5-metre dive in him. He's got a breath hole like a moth, Anyway, give him the go-ahead, go on, plug it, whatever. So anyway, he comes up from this dive. Anyway, this 6-kilo cod's all of a sudden somehow turned into about 26 kilos. So and then the Muppet's gone and dragged this thing on board and gutted it in the boat. Tell you what, mate, there was more like 6 kilos of guts flossing around on the floor of the boat. Anyway, you could probably relate to this sort of story, Shrek. No doubt you've probably experienced Muppets like this when you've been out on the water. And anyway, you have a good day, Shrek.
Hey, guys, if you enjoyed Ricky's take on the cod slayer, I hope you did. He jokes around, but those cod, a lot of Spearos here in the southeast corner of Queensland believe that, that they are one of the primary drivers of keeping the reef free from sand, and they play such a valuable role on, I don't know, looking after the reef in some weird ways that we don't even fully understand, I think. And so, it is legal to shoot them, but some people would suggest it's unethical. There is a minimum and maximum size here in Queensland, and anyway, it's a funny tongue-in-cheek one, but there is some purpose to what he was saying as well. So, hey, I hope you enjoyed that. Hey, if you wanted to leave a voice message, that would be even better. Go to noobspearo.com, head up into the menu, give back, hit Noob Stories, and leave me a voice message to include on the podcast. At the moment, I'm loving rants. Something that makes you a bit angry, a bit crazy, and you think that we should all learn something. And because, if you've been spearing a long time, you get angry about certain things, and sometimes you've got a message for everyone. So I'd love to hear it. Go to noobspearo.com, head it to the menu, give back, hit Noob Stories, leave me a voice message. That would be fantastic. Hey, one more thing, guys. Really, really loved this year's Whitsunday Sound and Spear trip. It is just going live. If you want to book yourself a spot, go to spearfishingcourses.com.au, head up into the charters section and get involved in this trip. Honestly, we're wicked people. I think I read out Felix's review last week. Eli, though, left another review. He said, I've just returned home from the most epic trip with Shrek from Noob Spearo from a Whitsunday spearfishing trip. It was an absolute pleasure to be involved in this charter, and I couldn't recommend it enough. From the airport until I left, it was an unforgettable time. The crew from ProSail, the Spearos, and the instructors were all amazing. I'll be booking another trip with Noob Spearo next year. Thanks for giving me a bunch of tips on my diving and a lot of laughs, Shrek. Hey, if you want to get part of it, it's not till August next year. There's 2 trips back-to-back this year because it was so popular this year. We really wanted to open up some more spots. Eckhart from Salt Sessions in Melbourne and I co-run this trip with a bunch of other wicked instructors. And Captain Crispy's back. Like, if you have heard some of the podcasts from the Whitsundays, it's a great one to be a part of. Go to spearfishingcourses.com.au, secure your spot with a $500 deposit, and then you're in to come join me out on the reef off the Whitsundays next August. I'll tell you what, it's a pretty cool experience. Hey, let's get into it. Chase and Gather Life. Again, these boys are good fun. Michael, Rudi and Danny, here we go. Shop with the world's largest dive store, Adreno. Live it and breathe it with frothers just like you, in-store or online at adreno.com.au. Huge range of equipment, always growing, always changing. They are the world's largest dive store. They are available just about everywhere. They have hassle-free returns, massive range of equipment, price match guarantee, and you can check them out online. You can even use the code Noob Spearo to save $20 on every purchase over 200 at adreno.com.au. Check them out. Boom.
Absolutely mint customer service. Specialty spearfishing equipment, elite spear gun performance components, unforgettable reliability. You want to find out where to buy this? Punch in Neptonics.com and shop at the best US spearfishing store, Neptonics.com. Free shipping to the lower 48 when you spend over $199, and you can use the code NOOB10 to save 10%. This is your chance to save dosh. Buy deadly good gear and experience A-grade customer service. Will you shop with the best? Visit Neptonics.com. Use the code NOOB10 to start shooting 35-pound muttons tomorrow. Actual performance may differ from advertisement. Please refer to terms and conditions to see if you're eligible to be a legend like Shrek. This advertisement was not even endorsed by Jerry and the team at Neptonics. Hoorah and God bless America. Arriving on day one of the spearfishing trip of a lifetime and feeling underdone, unfit, and out of breath is incredibly underwhelming. Well, I've got a great solution for you today. Go to noobspearo.com/spear-ready and take part in a 50-day preparation program to get you into shape to make the most of a trip of a lifetime. This is a 50-day journey designed to get you in great shape to make the most of this trip. I consulted a bunch of legends to help me put together this program, including Adam Stern, Australian freediving legend, Jared Rosenberg from Earth and Ocean Fit, and Dr. Jaap Verbaas, author of Longer and Deeper, as well as a bunch of others to help me put together a 50-day program that will get you results. And I know it works. We've put a bunch of groups through this now, and people have seen huge improvements and landed on a charter or a trip and actually been able to tap into some of their best spearfishing fitness. Check it out at noobspearo.com/spear-ready. Jump in a 50-day program to make the most. If you are 2 months out from that trip of a lifetime, let me encourage you, get spear ready. Go to noobspearo.com/spear-ready.
Can't let this go without recording it, guys. I've just got to record it. You guys remind me of me and my brothers. So I've got 2 younger brothers, and we're all sort of within 3 years of each other. You 3 sitting on that couch reminds me of me and my brothers sitting in the back seat of the car.
There's no space. Mind your leg.
Stop manspreading, bro.
Need some air.
So from left to right on my screen, guys, I've got Rudi on the left, Michael in the middle, and then Danny on the right. 2 South African hybrids and a OG Kiwi, but all 3 Kiwis now. And you guys are from Chase and Gather, a mad YouTube channel that's growing by the day, by the minute. And it's cool to have you guys with me. I really like your YouTube channel. And going through the comments, I was like not surprised. I saw like so many of the people were just like relating to you guys repping the hunting, spearing lifestyle in New Zealand. It's such a uniquely Kiwi thing.
And I think South Africans have got their own version of it too. But like to me, like I just look at it and it reminds me of home. So
yeah,
well done on making a channel about what we all love.
Well done, Michael. We'll keep him in the night. I'll have him.
Come on now.
Who's doing all the editing?
Yeah,
It's a team effort. Yeah.
team effort.
Team
But
effort.
yeah, we sort of share a little bit of that load. I initially sort of put together the channel to begin with, and then a lot of that hunting content, all the hunting content is my stuff. So just editing that bits and pieces, different diversity, ducks, deer, those types of things, and then getting fused in with these lads.
Yeah, but just a side note. Can you see from all the hunting videos? We're nowhere.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Michael,
we never got an invite.
you don't get the invite.
We call it every time we shoot a fish. So it's all good. Like, bring the back stakes, but come on now.
The back stakes just now, so
Come on now.
pay it forward. You know, we're getting there. These guys work hard, so they're hard to get along on a hunt, eh? But
Too noisy, probably.
Yes, they are.
Are you guys all dads?
Yes. All daughter dads.
Oh no, girl dads.
How's that?
What do they call that? Like flower nuts or whatever, isn't it?
This guy. Hey. All right.
It takes a man to make a daughter.
All right. Thanks, folks. That'll be the episode.
Chase and gather the girls.
Yeah. Yeah.
We need an heir to the throne. Hey.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Whose kids are into this lifestyle of hunting and stuff? Have you guys managed to get them all interested? I watched the Rarotonga video, and I did see some kids in it, and here amongst their snorkeling adventures, they seem to be in the water. Your kids anyway, Michael. What about you guys, Rudi? And have you guys managed to get your kids in the water, Danny?
No, my daughter's still too young.
Okay.
She's only turning 8.
8? She should be a
8, and she's
national
still back
champ
at
by
home.
now.
Hey?
She should be a national champ by now.
Yeah.
Up you go.
And Danny's due a baby in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Nah.
3 weeks.
So
Cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
And then mine I've got her out on the boat a bit. She loves catching big snapper, loves being competitive. I've got her in the pool, diving, loves being under the water. So yeah, slow process.
Yeah.
Not as full on as Mike's kids, like that side out. But
Yeah.
you know, it's only in front of the camera where you see the kids, but behind the camera, there's like, whoa, with the, you know? Taking too long, boy.
Yeah. I know exactly how that goes. Well, my wife hit me up at dinner the other night. She's like, you know, you'd think with your dad or your stepdad, you know, running a spearfishing thing that would be out every other weekend. And I'm like, what are you guilting me out here? What's going on? But like the reality is like life's so busy, eh? Like even you guys putting this thing together. One cool thing about what you guys are doing is it'll probably help you give you added motivation to do trips together, make sure you're getting out and stuff like that. And then I guess you're all sharing in different skills and techniques, because it sounds like you've got a bit of a terrestrial land hunting sort of set of skills, and the boys definitely seem pretty natural in the water. Is that kind of how it goes?
Yeah. There's a lot of cross-pollination, I guess.
Yeah.
And I've picked up so much stuff from these guys diving. It's unbelievable, like the amount that I learn every trip. I'll learn a couple of little things, and you just constantly fine-tuning all of these processes. So guys that, you know, they just talk about different things about, you know, where your belt reel's situated, little things like that, how you coil it up, how you put your things away, stow away. So these guys are clean freaks on the boat.
No. They're the clean freak. The
Danny.
OCD man. Yeah, the story of the crane net. Because Mark used to come with the boat with a big dive bag.
Yeah.
And then one morning, Danny was like, no dive bags on the boat. Only a crane net.
Like, so where do all my other bits and pieces go? It's like, bro, on the floor. Get rid of it.
It just makes life easier when this person's got a bag. Because when I'm diving back at home, you dive with quite a couple of people. And having too many bags on the boat, too much weight, still fish weight, your essentials. So everyone just carry their bag, wetsuits, and your food.
I'm right
That's about
there.
it.
I'm right there with you, Danny. I reckon it's the evolution that you go on as a crew. It's like you know, as soon as you have 4 people on a boat and everyone's got a big bag, it's just a nightmare. So you
100%.
you kind of get better at tightening up. Okay, what do we actually need here, and then everything else up in the forward cabin or whatever, and get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, it also boils down to also the weight distribution of all the boats, all the bags together. And then everyone's throwing bags on one side, and there's jackets, and everyone's looking for things, and you're just trying to look for your mask, and it's on top of everything else. And it's like, nah.
Yeah.
Whose is the whip that you guys were out in? Like, I watched the winter dive. Laura from Spearo Diaries podcast, she came out with you guys, speared a big kingy about that. That was a cool video you guys have got on your channel. And you guys were in a wicked looking boat. It looked like a Stavy craft. Is it a Stavy or is it what is it?
Yeah, it's a Stavy 540. So that's Surtees. I'm sorry, it's a Surtees 540, and that's my one, and that's
Nice.
mainly the channel's vessel, and then we try and just get all the content on that. We're trying to stick away from putting too many stickers on it because it looks like a coloring book. But
yeah.
I'm a froth magnet, bro. I will literally stick the thing full with stickers, and they have to stop me. So my last little tinny, I would just spray paint it just randomly with a spray paint, big words on it. And then Mike was like, I'm embarrassed to go on this thing now. And I was like, it doesn't matter. It still slays the fish. What's the problem, bro?
Man, it's a good looking boat though. It looks like a real good boat for sort of 4, maybe 5 people.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's a weapon. It's very fuel economic. I think we do 25 nautical miles on a quarter tank, 20 liters. We can do the Mokes and back on just under half a tank.
Oh, beautiful.
So 50 liters. So it's very economic on the fuel, yeah. And that's Yamaha 115 4-stroke. So
it's a far cry from the South African boats. Like
it's miles away.
New Zealand boats though and South African boats are very, very different in their design and like a whole bunch of different preferences. Have you guys gone through the evolution of switching? Did you grow up on boats in South Africa? And how hard was it to switch over to sort of this, Kiwis love the sort of the pontoon, aluminium boats or steel boats. What are your thoughts on this now?
Changing over to the aluminium boats are really good. They're very light, easy to maneuver, easy to launch, retrieve, punching waves. But only thing I find, they're very light when you're punching waves.
Yeah.
And when you're going, if you're hauling it to your destination, you hit it's a smooth sea, but you're going to hit every little hole.
Yeah.
And it just bumps. Yeah. But the boats from back at home, the fiberglass boats are way heavier. Way heavier, twin motors. I've been on a couple boats back at home, and they cut the sea much better, much more smoother because of the weight and the way they've been designed with the 2 motors as well pushing it. So for me personally, it is a big change, and I am enjoying these boats that are much more lighter, easier to maneuver, and you can do it all by yourself. I mean, a big boat like that, you can launch and retrieve by yourself.
Yeah.
But you can't do that with a South African boat, which weighs almost a ton. And launching on beaches, and if you drop shallow, and you can't do those things. Yeah, I've dropped shallow quite a couple of times.
Oh, yeah. I think everyone's seen the episode. There's an episode where, was it Mayor Island? Yes. Episode that we released at Mayor Island. What you don't see is that we dropped the boat short and it took us 45 minutes. Bro, we had to pull the anchor out and hook the anchor and then winch the boat forward over the bank. We burnt the fuse out. I had to change the fuse.
Oh, no.
So eventually we got out and the surf was like 6 foot? Yeah, 7 foot coming over the bar at Tauranga.
Yeah, that was our first time launching.
4 of us, first time launching over this bar.
Oh.
We had people's eyes were the size of toilet bowls.
Yeah.
And that's the first time Danny's dived us and he slammed 220 kilos.
Wow.
Just like that.
With the Ben Spear.
With Ben Spears.
Spear all the time.
Crazy.
Far out.
Yeah,
Spear bender, right?
Yeah.
3.
I can't help it though. I mean, like, if I'm gonna see a fish, I'm gonna send it. Whether he's gonna bend the spear or not, I'm gonna send it.
Why are you bending spears? Are you shooting them like dead on at right angles? Those big kingies.
Sometimes they reef us. Like a couple of the times I shoot them, they're almost on the floor, and then they'll reef me straight away. Or I think I have been one spear where I shot it at an angle through, so he still had a lot of laugh in him, but I never hit the spine, so I didn't wound him that much. And he literally wiggled the spear bent it.
Yeah. What are you? So like kingies will reef you whether you got a single or a double wrap. I'm assuming you're running a single wrap.
Double.
Oh, okay.
All doubles, yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. I refuse to use double wraps anymore. Just too much mischief. Just that extra little bit of room of play. And then it just means you can't get quite as much torque on them to keep them off the bottom. And then, but are you also running a 7 or 7.5 mil shaft?
Oh, 7 mil.
Mixture.
Depends what the supplier's got out in the minute.
Oh, yeah.
Most of the time it's 7 mil, and then if I know I've got a 7 mil shaft, like I make sure I'm trying to shoot head.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do a stone shot or always front forward so I put less pressure on the spear, especially if I get that front angle.
Yeah.
Rather than that side on and putting all that pressure while he's bending the spear. So those are the type of things I like to think about while I'm in the water and to remember. Sort of like if I'm breathing up, like I'm looking at my gun and I'm like, oh, okay, I know that I'm double wrapped, checking everything is tight. I'm checking. Okay, I'm running a 7 mil spear. If I see a fish, this is my plan.
Yeah.
Because bringing you back to the story with Laura, most of the time, I would say 90% of my fish are top down. Shoot them sinking down, top down, arcing forward through the head. So the first drift before she got her fish, we get on the boat and she's like, oh, I could have got a kingy that last drift. They came through. I just wanted to get down to their level and shoot it horizontally. I said, why? What are you on about? I said, no, I've been told that you got to shoot. I was like, no, forget all of that. You're on this boat now. You shoot top down. She's like, oh, can you shoot top down? I said, you shoot that fish top down because if you shoot it top down, it'll pivot on the spear.
Yeah.
There's chance of it bending, right? So choose Bob. The next drift, she goes, the kingy swims underneath her and she shoots it top down.
Yeah, nice.
Comes up riding it like a horse between her legs, like this, and she's screaming at the boat, I shot it top down. I'm like, just take care of the fish.
That's cool. Yeah.
One of those spears that I've actually been using, I was saying to Rudi the other day, when we first started diving together, I've still got that same spear.
I couldn't believe it.
Which is a 7.5 mil Rob Allen.
That's so tough.
1 meter tuna. So I
could not believe it.
It's unbelievable. Shot a lot of kingies with it. So
yeah,
7.5.
Those Rob Allen shafts, like there's shafts that come out of South Africa that look the same. They kind of smell the same, but then when you run the acid test, they are not the same. I don't know, the attention to detail that they seem to put in the dive factory on those shafts, it's just second to none.
It is second, yeah. Very hardy.
To get a comparable shaft, you almost have to spend double. And like you can spend $20 less on a shaft but they're not, like you might pay, I don't know what you're paying in NZ for a shaft now. What are you paying for a 7.5 mil shaft?
I think they're like 80, 90.
About 90 at the moment.
Yeah.
90 New Zealand. Yeah.
It's often the same here, about $80-$90 for a Rob Allen shaft or something like that. And then you can get one for like $70, but like you only do it a few times, then you're like, I'm just going to spend the 90, Like
it says bent.
Yeah. I was blown away because I had to double check that it was actually the same spear. It's perfectly straight. It's
nice.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, so I'm massive Rob Allen convert, but these guys definitely got me onto the Rob Allen bus.
Yeah. What is it with South African gear? There's just so many good brands coming. It's like I always tell people, like Japan is like amazing for cars. I feel like South Africa is like the Japanese equivalent with spear gear. Do you know what I mean? Like there's so many good brands. Like it's not just Rob Allen. Like I like a bunch of the different brands that come out of South Africa. So What is it with you guys? You geek out on...
We have used quite a bit of the different types of gear from SA. But for me personally, I've stuck with Rob Allen a lot. I knew the guys in the Dar factory, at the factory. I was a regular there. I always went through there. Went on a couple of Dars with them. Amazing people, good quality gear, everything. And even if you had any problem, you could just go to the Dar factory and tell them what issue you had. And they'll either fix it for you or alter it or give you a new one. They are such amazing people. And we had such good quality from them that you wouldn't want to go anywhere else. Like the service is so good. You wouldn't want to go anywhere else.
So is that where you were from in South Africa, Durban?
Yeah, Durban.
What about you, Rudi?
Same, Durban.
You're both Durbanites?
Yeah, it's just up the road from the Dar factory.
Yeah, sick. Very cool. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
and now you guys are ocean hunter fanatics in NZ, eh?
I think ocean hunter would be the closest to Rob Allen. You would have your same kind of feel.
Yeah, right.
Going in the dive shop, it feels warm and inviting. And you feel like, there's a multitude of gear here. It's not specific to one set of gear or one brand. And you get pushed into the corner of using that brand. It's like, hey, this is the gear, whatever suits the diver, because gear is so preferable to every single individual diver. Like down to the weirdest little details. And that's what spearfishing is about, right? Is to learn about all different people's techniques and how and what and when. So, yeah, rate it. But Rob Allen, second to none, man.
I got a bit of a soft spot for Ocean Hunter. Like I talked to all of the stores. They're all kind of managed by different people. All of them are frothers, though. I think I got my books in every single store. They were just like, you send us a box, and then they sold. And they were like, you send us 4, and I've been sending books there like kind of nonstop. The 99 spare recipes and 99 tips, and they've been really supportive from New Zealand. And I even actually got a few of their floats over here to sell, the Kai Waka and the Kai Iti. I still haven't got them on my website, but I like their gear. I like what they're doing.
Yeah, as you say, it's a warm environment to go in. The customer service there is really good. The variety of gear is awesome. We use quite a bit of the free divers gear as well.
Yeah.
And so, it's a great place to go to. So if we're travelling around New Zealand or wherever, we'll always drop in to one of the ocean hunter sites. And as you say, they sort of recognise a couple of us, and they're like, yes, the videos, check. No, but it's a cool buzz, and
sick.
It's definitely got some great gear.
So chase and gather, you guys got your own merch going. What's the story? You getting it in the shops? Are you just doing it direct from websites or Instagram, or how? Yeah,
it's mainly we do pre-orders. So we do a quarterly pre-order, and that's all done through Facebook, Instagram, or shout outs on YouTube. A lot of people are hustling us for the next merch drop. So that's, if you guys are listening, it's coming early October. We do everything from t-shirts, caps, hoodies, singlets.
Nice.
Every sorts of things. We've got athletic shirts and a whole bunch. So,
So with the chase and gather content calendar, I know it's not like you're probably not like, it's not all like that, but like, do you guys map out trips for the year and where you're going? Do you have rough ideas?
1,000% we do that.
Okay.
We've got 2 girls and a wife. I've got a wife and a daughter, and wife to be, and one on the way, and to navigate weather windows.
Yeah.
Personalities, froth. The froth is always there.
Yeah.
And just we have to say, right, from this window to this window we're going.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we just send it. We just have to send it regardless. I always tell the boys, when you're on the boat, tell the missus you're coming back in the dark. I don't want to hear it. I honestly don't want to hear it, mate. And then we just froth it out.
Who's the best planner packer?
Probably Danny.
All right, Danny, my man.
I'll bring all the supplies, everything and anything you can think of. I've got it.
Yeah, everyone knows who it is. You have to have one. What's that?
I'm the only one allowed to have more bags. Period.
When have you ever seen someone bring food on a boat? A whole block of Brie cheese. And he's like, hey guys, look. Everyone got cheese, got the biscuits, all, and I'm just like, hey, bring it, bro.
We'll chat about kingies a bit more and some of the stuff you guys love hunting in the water. I'd love to even talk a bit about terrestrial land-based hunting as well, because in New Zealand there's no real separation of the two. Like, you know, often like guys will either, you know, do one or the other, but everyone's kind of very like, it's a hunting lifestyle. Do you know what I mean? Whether you're under or below. And I like how your channel kind of reps both those worlds, because I sort of see them as very closely related. In Australia and some other parts of the world, it's seen very differently, you know, like sometimes because of, do you know what I mean? Like there's like this Bambi phenomenon with hunting deer on land, whereas fish, people were just like, it's just fish. You know, do you guys encounter that with your channel?
I think because of the diversity of the content and the adventures that we go on, it brings in a whole lot of different viewers. So, you know, you've got passionate hunters, you've got the spearfishing community, you've got people into their fishing. We include like a lot of catch and cook sessions. We include the kids as well. So we do like some cooking sessions with the kids in the kitchen. So that brings in different family units. And I think the diversity of it is, you know, what's quite appealing. People kind of like, I didn't realise you did spearfishing, or, hey, that was cool. You saw some catch some snapper the other day at the Hodaki or wherever it is. But I think getting the kids involved for me has been really special, because it just gets them connected and passionate about where the food comes from. It's a form of physical activity. You're outside. And for us as well, and everyone that comes on our missions, like fellowship is a really big thing
it's
for
a culture,
us.
right? It's a culture. Like we like to say, CAG is it's not a choice, it's a lifestyle. You know, and we try and promote that type of lifestyle: food to plate, family orientated, sharing, hunting. Like you say, like a whole lot of it, hunting just as a whole. Doesn't matter what species you do or animal, you're hunting as a whole.
And as you say, like the hunting scene in New Zealand is massive. Like there is a lot of passionate hunters there, whether it's ducks, whether it's deer, whether it's pigs or goats or tar, chamois, rooster, whitetail, sandbar. You know, there's such a variety of species that we can hunt. And a lot of people hunt different things in different seasons as well.
Yeah. Well, you were telling me, Michael, off air that Rudy's like the Parori king. Is that right?
The Parori king?
Parori, or, you know, like... yeah. Luderick, black brim?
Nah. He only shoots the big fish.
I'm just joking.
The Parori king, bro. You don't know. I'm the number one. I told you not to tell anyone. Don't let me bring up the red monkey story. You see, it speaks for that. It speaks for itself.
But
yes, you have to start somewhere too. You know.
Nah, like you say, like when people start, like it's good you've got some species that are approachable and a bit easy, and people love hunting and eating them at the start. It's just as you've been going a little while, you get fussier.
Yeah.
So I was just joking about Michael saying that, but I just wanted to gee up a wee bit. Really.
Trying to retrace my mind.
Stir the pot,
do you guys think that this sort of hunting lifestyle that you guys celebrate so much, do you think it's under attack?
I think yes and no. You've obviously always got the anti-hunters, but I think the hunting community now is more coordinated than it has been in many years, because you've got organisations like the New Zealand Deer Stalkers Association, which have branches throughout the whole of New Zealand. They are now coordinated through a CEO and a board, local branch managers. So everyone's extremely well coordinated, connected, and has this great vision as well of protecting what we have.
Yeah.
There's a lot of conservation work going on now through the hunting sector. So hunters are now being seen as conservationists as well. You've got the Game Animal Council, they're involved. You've got some big shows that go on throughout New Zealand as well. So I don't know if it's under threat as such. I think we're pretty well positioned to maintain and enhance what we have, because I think those organisations at sort of the lobbying level are a lot more orchestrated now.
Yeah.
They've got a lot more voice. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And I think everyone would know someone in New Zealand who's a hunter. And I think as hunters, if we can broadcast why we hunt with some clarity around, it's not just to get meat, but to outside, exercise, meet other people, socialise, and just communicate the wider benefits. The mental health side of things is massive now. So a lot of people are now talking about, I go into the outdoors to just get a mental reset.
Yeah.
Or I go out to connect with some mates just to talk about some things. You know, it's been a heavy couple of weeks. It's good just to be out on the hills, these types of things. And it's the same with spearfishing. But yeah, the hunting scene over here, I think it's pretty strong now. Yeah. Yeah.
Because Danny packs his boat so well too, you'd have all that extra deck space for sleeping out at night time out there, and
100%.
have some starlit conversations. I agree with you. Like, I reckon a lot of the cool conversations that happen, you know, in and around the activity that you're doing, they can be some of the realest ones that you have, you know, and you go home sort of charged up. You might be physically exhausted, but your soul is full when you're ready to go back to work and, you know, put food on the table for everyone.
Especially when you do it with close people that you can relate to and can be vulnerable with. Yeah. It helps a lot.
100%.
You're doing what you enjoy, shooting big fish, having the froth, but still having that bit of time to break a couple walls down and let some things out.
Yes.
And have friends that are going to be real with you and be like, no, mate, you're wrong. This is wrong, this and this and this.
Nothing more vulnerable than missing fish and having to tell your mate, I just missed a random. And then they all laugh at you. Especially if there's slammers in the bin as well. And you last to shoot the fish. Like, I missed. And they're like, oh.
Some days it's weird, on the boat. Some days you feel like you're the best person on the boat, and then other days you're definitely the worst. I don't know if you can relate to that, but
I can. I'm often at the bottom of the pile, but
no way.
Trying to catch up with these guys.
Everyone gets their days. I mean, it all depends on the day. Like I've missed Kiwis and Derek and Kuta and stuff. Point blank, 2 meters in front of me.
Yeah.
Just wasn't my day.
Me too.
Literally.
Bent spears definitely don't help either. So
100%. Make sure you change the spear.
I didn't miss the gun. There's something wrong with the gun. It's the gun. I always blame the gun. Oh, the line must have got put somewhere.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Arriving on day one of the spearfishing trip of a lifetime and feeling underdone, unfit, and out of breath is incredibly underwhelming. Well, I've got a great solution for you today. Go to noobspearo.com/spearready and take part in a 50-day preparation program to get you into shape to make the most of a trip of a lifetime. This is a 50-day journey designed to get you in great shape to make the most of this trip. I consulted a bunch of legends to help me put together this program, including Adam Stern, Australian freediving legend, Jared Rosenberg from Earth and Ocean Fit, and Dr. Jaap Verbaas, author of Longer and Deeper, as well as a bunch of others to help me put together a 50-day program that will get you results. And I know it works. We've put a bunch of groups through this now, and people have seen huge improvements and landed on a charter or a trip and actually been able to tap into some of their best spearfishing fitness. Check it out at noobspearo.com/spearready. Jump in a 50-day program to make the most. If you are 2 months out from that trip of a lifetime, let me encourage you, get spear ready. Go to noobspearo.com/spearready. This podcast is brought to you by aqualite.com.au. This is the best solution, bar none, for staying hydrated in the ocean. If you're a Spearo It's an absolute no-brainer. It's a game changer if you're doing extended trips and the cramp starts to set in and the old body's telling you, hey, that's enough. Just get hydrated and it will save you a whole heap of woe. Get Aqualite at aqualite.com.au. It's scientific rehydration that Spearos know and trust. I know because one works there, and that's why we've set up this discount code for you. 10% off when you use the code Noob Spearo at aqualite.com.au. Check it out. Australian-made hydration products tailored for Spearos and a whole bunch of other people that suffer from dehydration too. But check it out at aqualite.com.au. Use the code Noob Spearo to save 10%. Noob Spearo's partner, Killshot Spear Guns, bring more to you than just wicked reliable timber spear guns. They also make awesome merch. Check it out at killshotspearguns.com. There's an awesome range of trucker hats, beanies, bucket hats, and more at killshotspearguns.com. Check out Depth Charge Shelters while you're there. Based in the Islamorada, the Florida Keys, the Killshot Spear Guns team are a wicked, passionate bunch. Proud partners of the Noob Spearo podcast. Check them out at killshotspearguns.com.
Yeah, no, awesome. Talking about sort of your passion broadly for this lifestyle, I might go to each of you briefly, and we'll start with Rudi. What made you fall in love with this outdoor lifestyle, particularly the spearing side of things? Where did it all start?
I never used to spear. I used to just go like rock fishing with my mates. And back then I was a totally different person. Like now I've been 11 years sober.
Oh, nice. Congrats,
I
brother.
I don't drink a drop of alcohol, bro. I've been 11 years sober since those days. But in those days, it was totally different approach to the ocean. It was being on the rocks, drinking beers and just forgetting about whatever. And the one day we were on the rocks fishing and my mate's brother just rocked up with his diving gear. And I'm like, look at this geezer. He's about to get in the water. What the hell? With his long ass fins. I was like, he's weird, you know? And he jumped in the water and where we were literally casting our lines to, he shot like a massive garrick that would have been literally swimming around our baits. So I was mesmerized. I was like, what? What is this? And then from that day forth, it grabbed me. And then I just started diving from there and there. And it just evolved. And I was like, now I can literally go under and pick what I want.
Yeah, yeah.
Rather than wait for hours with a smelly bait and stink like, or still stink like fish now. Actually stink like pee. Because if you don't pee in your wetsuit, you're not diving. End of story. So that's just the way it evolved naturally that way. And
cool.
And that's here today. So
awesome. Love
the ocean, best place for me. I love the quiet under the water. That's what brings me back every time.
Yeah.
Like there's no noise. When I'm down there, I have to remind myself sometimes like, hey, yo, you got to breathe. Like, oh yeah, cool. Swim back up. It's the peace of mind, the quietness, having time to reflect, and just the pure love of the rawness of the ocean.
Yeah. Nice.
That's for me.
That was a good answer, Rudi. Michael's got to upstage you now. What about for you, Michael?
Yeah, I'm the pressure now.
No pressure, bro.
I sort of started the spearfishing journey a bit later than these guys.
How old are you?
I'll tell them how we met first, and then you got that. That's why I started diving.
How old are you guys, just quickly?
I'm 21.
Definitely not.
You're
Why laughing?
you all look
I'm
like
34.
30. I thought mid-30s.
I'm 39.
Yeah, 34 as a...
Yeah, nice.
39.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
You're
old.
an old dog, eh?
Old
Keeping up with
dog.
you, young guns.
Jeez.
He was- After Danny said he was 34, I thought you were going to say 32, Michael, because you're looking a lot younger than Danny.
Yeah,
We're going to live the lifestyle.
Yeah, he's the fittest out of all three of us. Bro.
Yeah, nice.
He's the DILF.
These guys. Got to put a language filter on this guy.
I'm not saying any vanity. There's no way.
No, it's okay. Yeah. No, but I mean, for me, that story's a different story. But spearfishing for me started about 10 years ago, officially, because, I was doing a little bit off and on, shooting some butterfish and sort of doing mainly snorkeling around reefs with a spear gun.
Yeah.
Little 90, what was it, a 90 Pelage, I think I started with. Just a single.
I mentioned that brand. I have nightmares about that brand.
Was shooting. Oh yeah. Let's not go into the quality of the spears.
We won't.
But it all kind of officially kicked off for me with the spearfishing this is the scene. Rudi and I bumped into one another. This is the scene, right? I was on a pink flamingo floaty, and Rudi was on a purple unicorn floaty.
The most manliest situation ever, bro. Ever.
We were just sort of gently floating around at the beach there on the harbour, and the two floaties came together. We're like, oh,
Majestically.
oh, that's like my friend. And I'm like, we just sort of got talking, and it's just, kind of kicked off from there. We were talking about fishing initially, and Rudi said, oh, he's just moved to New Zealand and he's really into his spearfishing. And I said, oh, I do some. I said, it's mainly snorkeling, but so he said, oh, bro, come on a dive trip with me. And I think maybe a few weeks later we shot out on his 12-foot tinny with the 15 Merc on the back.
Yeah.
Out to a local lee reef there. And at that time, I was wearing a spearfishing steamer.
Yeah.
I was like a 4-3 sort of thing, eh?
Like a surfing wetsuit.
Oh, surfing wetsuit. Yeah.
And he's like, bro, put this top on, bro. So I was wearing a surfing steamer plus a spearfishing top, and I had a massive knife at the time, and just a huge machete-looking thing. But we got onto the fish, and that place was pumping one day with the current. But Rudi put me onto my first kingy, and from there, I was just hooked and into it. So this guy probably leads the froth charge, but I'm sort of still trying to hang in there with these guys.
Nice.
But I sort of mainly started out in the gathering space, duck hunting and fly fishing with my dad.
Yeah,
I grew up in Hawke's Bay, down in Napier there. So started when I was about 10, fly fishing for trout, and kind of just got stuck into it from there. Went to uni, studied physical education down at Otago Uni, and got hooked into the deer hunting scene down there as well. So pretty diverse. Yeah, man. You know, get out on some missions. And
so did you do some Fiordland trips while you were down there, or?
No, I haven't ticked off the Fiordland Wapiti yet. That is the next level.
Is that a boys' trip coming up? Have you heard about the trip where you can rent a sailboat down there and then you can sail in and around the fjords and then jump out for a hunt?
Yeah. It could be.
You can shoot the deer from the boat.
Yeah, they've got the charter boats there, so you can live on 4 or 5 nights, dive for praise, shoot fish, shoot deer, and you're basically in the fjords for 5 or 6 days. So
that's an international.
It could be a bucket list one. That's a different experience to the pure Fiordland hunting experience, where you've got to put in your name for a ballot, win the ballot, and then you get a 7 to 10 day window where you're in an allocated block. And then you have to, if you're going to take a wapiti, it needs to be of a certain quality and character. So it's very specific stag that you're looking for in there for taking out the
wapiti is like the elk. They were originally gifted to New Zealand by, was it Roosevelt or someone back in the day? And then
in the 20s, I think.
Are they interbred with red deer as well? Like,
so that Fiordland, I guess you call it the Fiordland zone, is a mingling of the wapiti bull, and then obviously we've got their cows as well, and then the reds. So you do get a lot of hybridization of those deer, but there's an organisation called the Wapiti Foundation. They're in there to try and preserve the quality of the wapiti herd, and then they do actually cull a number of red deer out of that block every year to maintain that genetic. So it's an amazing project in there because they have a huge volunteer base as well of conservationists that go in, set up trap lines, do track work. There's a lot of work that goes on in the back country. Yeah,
Rudi and Danny both look keen on hunting a wap with you, I reckon. I just
I'm keen.
Man.
I done a lot of hunting back at home with my dad.
Yeah,
I
nice.
grew up with him, but that's complete different hunting to here.
Tell us
Different
about
terrain.
it. Tell me about it, Danny. We'll go to your origin story. Hunting and spearfishing for you. Where did it all start? By the way, Fiordland has 7 meters of rain annually.
Yeah, like
Average.
7 meters.
Yeah.
7 meters of rain. I looked it up because it's a crazy place. Like you can read books about it by avid wapiti hunters because that bugle's pretty mesmerizing. Plus the topography is just scary. Like it's just
it's verticals, man.
Yeah.
And the swamps, you got swamps as well.
And the craze.
You got peaks.
crazy.
You got sandflies as well. The sandflies are apparently
Big pool eye there.
all right. Yep.
And you got a freshwater layer in the fjords and then salt underneath it, so you get black coral, which is normally only at 100 meters. You can find it in 10 meters there. So there's
That's crazy. It's the tannins in the water, right?
Yeah, it's a freaky place. Like it's on my bucket list. Maybe when you guys tee up a trip, you'll have to send an invite old Shrek's way. And,
there we go.
100%.
And
yes.
I'll be keen.
And the crayfish are thick down there.
Yes.
yeah,
Like the fish life is crazy down there. So
yeah. But anyway, I
I
interrupted Danny. What was your origin story, brother?
That's all right. I'm used to that.
Just fired.
I grew up hunting and fishing with my dad. Like from the age of maybe 8.
Yeah,
We were
right.
hunting, going to the farm. Shot my first buck when I was 11 or 12. Never done any diving, just done a lot of snorkeling. And then one of my mates from work was like, I asked him for some craze. And he was like, well, why don't you come with me and get yourself? So I found a bodyboarding wetsuits and bodyboarding fins, and I went out with him. And first time being under the water, like not where your rocks are in your backline, like further than your backline, I couldn't even go down 2-3 meters. He had to do everything, so I was just top man. Bring a crate, yep, put it in the bag. And I was like, well, I want to do this. I love it. It's like getting away from the world. It's another world underneath it. You're a visitor, you know, and seeing things that maybe 1 in 1,000 people will ever see in your life. Being underwater, seeing different fish, going through different terrains, hunting different fish. And I just got hooked. I got hooked from there. And then just slowly upgraded my gear, eventually got a full body bodyboarding suit and started diving, and then eventually saved some money, got a suit, got a gun, and then just upgraded from there.
It does take a while, that process of acquisition. And like you sort of mentioned, like you kind of forget how foreign the world of spearfishing is to people that haven't grown up around it or seen it or anything like that. And you guys kind of all made me remember that. Like for so many people, like you tell them you go spearfishing, they can't even kind of imagine it. They're like, what are you with the spear? Like, are you using scuba diving? I mean, you kind of got to explain it all. And then they're like, oh, what about sharks? And how long can you hold your breath? And it's all those same questions.
That's the question.
That's the questions you get all the time. And even for us, for me, the diving here is different from home. It's just we grew up shore diving.
Yeah.
You would get 100 type of species on your backline. You just need a shot. You just need to punch through those waves. It's the only obstacle you got is punching through the waves. Then the world's your oyster. I mean, anything can pop up. Different seasons, different fish.
Mussel cracker.
Yes.
Or a steenbras.
Russia.
Akuda. Yeah.
Kuta, I mean, I've seen some wild animals just on your backline. I mean, in 10 meters of water.
Yeah.
One thing Michael's probably learned is like, I didn't really realize that South Africans sleep differently. We were out on a boat a little while ago and I heard, Sorry about that. This is my go-to South African joke.
No, we haven't.
He's here all week, Tim. He's here all week. Hey, girl.
we haven't done a close quarters overnighter yet, eh?
No.
In the hard top.
No.
But
no, we've had 5
we've had
minutes
the
on each
camping.
other.
We've had the camping scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the
You chop
mokes.
wood and you chop wood.
You chop.
They snore hard out.
Yeah.
He's the axe
Hard
murderer.
out.
He's the worst. It sounds like a chainsaw on diesel.
Danny, eh? Must be something about the mo. Just inhibiting his breathing.
One of those. Wrong with them, usual. Yeah.
Are you guys allowed to camp on the mokes, or is it national park? Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no, you can't park there. You can't
You can
sleep.
land, bro.
You can, but you can't camp at all.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So you can land and then walk to the lighthouse and stuff, but you can't camp. So
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I did ask officially, and they said, look, you definitely cannot be staying overnight there.
Oh, yeah.
As long as we stay on our boat, we're fine there. So.
I would
It's
just
a magical place.
ask about accidentally breaking down, you know. Oh,
yeah,
no.
we'll see.
We're just looking for fuel.
Yeah, I know that.
I've got a treasure map. X marks the spot.
I think they do that with a lot of those small island groups to protect the bird populations, because
Yeah, 100%.
the nesting is a bit delicate, and you can kind of understand and respect it. But yeah, is it like I always see the rules, and I always kind of want to know why. And then if you know the why, the rule is easy to follow. But until you know the why, the rules are quite easy to want to break sometimes. But yeah,
Yeah, it's true.
I think it's exactly as you say. It's around the wildlife there and the birds and nesting and things like that. You know, so it's within reach of most boaties. The mokes, it's an hour and a half, hour 45 to get there. It would be probably one of the top visited spots if you could camp there.
yeah.
I think
it would spoil it.
just
It would definitely spoil
it's
it.
a magical place. But
Just to change subjects a wee bit, guys. One thing with the podcast is I really like capturing the learning and the stuff that goes along in the journey. One of the funniest ways to do that is to capture the mistakes that we make. I'd love to hear if you've got a cracker story, one of the biggest bugger ups you've done and what you kind of learned from it. Can be scary, can just be funny. But
how much time do you have?
you go first, Rudi. You got a couple.
How much time do you have? There's not a mission where there's not a bust up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a bust up every time. There has to be something.
Leaving the boat keys at home.
From leaving the boat keys, Ubering the boat keys to the boat.
I think I saw that in one of your videos. Yeah.
Oh, mate. And then Mike and I up at Bay of Islands this last weekend, trying to reverse the boat with the trailer. I can't understand why it's not coming with the trailer. Normally it just like slips like butter.
Yeah.
But it's like sticking. So I'm like, okay, now I'll just reverse jerk it off. So I reverse it. Boom! Boom! It's not coming off the trailer. I'm like, whoa! What the
no.
I look at Mike, I go, but did you take that other strap off the side? Oh, what do you mean?
I knew it.
Yeah, the one strap's on. I'm like, oh, mate, shall we go? When should I take the strap off? And then it just slips off the trailer. Like from that to leaving masks behind to, just outright. But for me, the funniest story we had was at Lee. This was, we're driving Martini. So we're at Lee now. So everyone knows that's an avid diver that if you don't do your business in the morning and you put your suit on, you're going to get squeezed like a toothpaste. Okay? You're going to have to do your business. So we get to the spot. Funny enough, I did a couple of downs and I shot a fish, but the change in pressure did some pressure on my colon. So I had to do a movement. So I quickly whipped the suit off and did my thing.
So you're sitting on the boat.
Sitting on the boat, and Mark's down currents. So I think he shot a fish or something. He was swimming back to the boat, and he was, what's all this debris in the water? I can't understand.
It was South African bratwurst.
Right. So it was like a 10 to 12 metre this day, but there was just these brown floaties that, it was filth.
I'm trying to keep a straight face when he got back to the boat.
Looked up current, he's here with his ass hanging off the side of the boat. And I'm like, bro, you couldn't have waited,
I'm trying to be a straight face with him. Like, oh, yeah, sorry about that, mate. But inside, I'm dying, bro. I wanted to just keel over and laugh. I felt so bad.
Yeah.
That's a good
And one of the times we never recorded because GoPros weren't charged. Nothing was going around. Water was green. And we anchored. It was myself and you anchored. Everything wasn't going around for the day. It was just one of those days. So we said, okay, we'll anchor and we'll just dive around close. And it's time to go home now. And we pull the winch and we stuck. Anchor stuck. So we go down. I go down to go look.
What about the kingy raptor?
Oh, yes. So it was a lot. It was my last down. He was in the boat. So I was like, oh, look, go down, see a kingy, shoot a kingy. But I'm right by the anchor line. And I look at the anchor line and I see the kingy. And shoot the kingy bangs off and around the anchor. Around the anchor and around the anchor. Now it's time to pull the anchor up. We stuck. Burn the motor. Almost burn the motor. Keeps tripping. Eventually we got the anchor up a little bit loose. So I went down to go look what was wrong. We had like a 2-ton rock hanging on the anchor.
And with the kingy on the chain.
And it's a corner that has a lot of current. So we actually drifted a bit, and the rock would hit another rock. And would stop a little bit.
Oh, yes.
So I have to go down. So really was like, let's tie a rope and pull it. So the motor kept on tripping because it was too much load.
Yeah.
So I'd go down, tie the rope as far as I can, come back up, feed it through the boat, jump on the boat. We both start pulling it till it trips. Do the same thing for like 2 hours, hour and a half, 2 hours. When we get 5 meters from the boat, the rock falls off.
And then the kingfish is still like, wow, that was a wild ride.
The kingfish was still
wrapped around the rope. Absolute bluster. Just a bluster.
Yeah, there's a lot of little mistakes like that. Like not anchoring in the right spot when you know the spot.
Yeah.
You know, you get that fuzzy vision. You're just like, I just want to jump in the water. I just want to shoot a fish. And you forget these little things, anchoring in the right way. Even shooting some big fish, when you stop down and you see a huge kingy and you're near rocks and stuff, you can't broad shot a fish, which I would do. I would tag him. If I can shoot the fish, I'm going to put a spear in and I'll put it. But you can't. You need to hit him in the head. You need to try to stone him. Because it's pretty deep. He's going to reef you. You're going to lose gear. You know, anything can happen to your gear. It can malfunction at any time. Make sure you check your gear. Make sure you check your belt reel. Make sure you check your line, your spear, your everything, even your flopper. Both of us had issues
just last week.
I shot one. It went off. And I got to pull the spear up and I looked and there was sinew in the barb. Holding the barb closed. And he shot one top down, boom. Spear literally shot it, half stoned it, and came back up.
I hate that.
And the kingy was just spiraling.
Oh, death spiral.
Yeah, we do a lot of small mistakes, but because we dive a lot together, one of us has a bit of a clear mind.
Always checking each other.
And we're always on each other about certain things.
That's good.
Keeping us in check.
Sounds like
we do make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah. I'd say the worst one is when you put your suit bottoms on backwards and the knee pads over here.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And then you put everything together and you get on the boat and you're like, what? Something? Oh, mate. And it's an open cell, so you got to take and soap it. Oh, it works. Still works. Yeah. Mark would probably dive like that the whole day. Just be like, nah, that's what.
Yeah. It's good like you guys all make mistakes though, because then you like have a lot more tolerance for each other. I think sometimes if there's a big dramatic imbalance, like it's one person always doing it, it's like, but like it's good when you can all equally kind of just, you know, eat the humble pie. I think because we all
so no one's got the upper hand to start digging.
Yeah.
One thing we do is we dig at each other.
If you don't get dug on the boat, you're not
all the time. So it's we keep each other on our toes, but at the same time, it's all fun. It's no seriousness in it. Sometimes between us two, it looks super serious.
That's how we love it.
But that's how we are. Like that's our love. You know?
Yeah.
It's that, and then 2 minutes later, hey guys, you want something to drink?
You okay?
That's
And
true.
then he'll be like,
You want a hug? You want a tissue?
what's going on here?
My words for clean you.
You thought it was the Boer War starting again, but it was just,
But it's just how we are. We're very passionate when we speak, and when I'm telling you you're doing something wrong, I'm going to show you. Not only tell you, but I'm showing you you're doing that wrong.
That's good though.
It keeps everybody on their toes.
Yeah. Because I think that's one of the biggest things for me is diving alongside these guys and them actually just sort of saying it as it is. You know, you need to do this differently for your safety and for you to improve.
Yeah.
And I know when I started out with Rudi, I was super green, and we were doing a lot of diving off his 12-foot tinny there, and Rudi's very good on his water polo, so he's like a fish in the water. I haven't been doing any sort of swimming training or anything for maybe 5 or 6 years, so we were diving a lot at Lee. The current is pumping there. You're shooting kingies. You're getting pushed down current and then having to swim 200 metres into a raging current to get to the boat.
Throwing yourself up a line.
You've got a tag line out the back that you're trying to put one hand on. You've got a fish here. So I sort of learned quite quickly to just get a lot sharper on some of my processes.
Yeah.
I was towing around a float line for quite a long time.
Until I had enough of it.
You know? So, I started out with, I think it was a 25-metre float line, and these guys dive with, belt reel, gun reel. So by the time he's on the boat, he's already had a cup of coffee by the time I can get myself on the boat, wind the float line in. He's like, "Oh, you're ready to go." And I'm like, "I've just got on the boat, man." But that's just that. You just fine-tune your processes, which has been cool for me. Yeah.
There's a scripture that comes to mind. It says, "Faithful are the wounds of a friend." I think it's like, to me it means like your mates should be able to call you out, and that is how you can learn stuff faster. It's like as long as you don't have too much pride, and you can just kind of like, it's always hurts sometimes when someone gives you the beans, but like afterwards you're kind of like, they were just trying to help me,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I noticed that that's like you get stuck in the motion. And your mindset, that you forget about other things, and it's good that I do it a lot with them, where they'll be onto something, and I'll be like, nah, like reality check. Sorry to kill your buzz, but this and this and this.
Like the Mongol one. Come on.
Yeah. And we always in that zone that someone is going to be calling us out, and there's no candy coating it. This is it, and that's the reality. And it makes you stop for 5 minutes and think, shit, if I done this, this could have gone wrong. That could have gone wrong.
There's no pride in
safety. So between us, when we're all together on the boat and stuff, the pride is like out the window, to be honest. Sometimes we do. Someone shoots a bigger fish, and the other one shoots a bit of a smaller fish. Then it's like, who's got the bigger one type of thing. But other than that, it's super chill, and I really enjoy it that we do call each other out.
Someone a little while ago pointed out to me something too, like they, and you guys will all relate to this, and you're probably getting older and wiser now, but there's this demographic, this subset of guys, sort of, and I would put it at more probably the 20 to 30 kind of guys. Testosterone's still high, sometimes frontal lobe development's a little bit slow. And we just like, we're just so competitive. We get into these battles with fish, and, and spearing, there is high risk. And when you don't have that like executive function working at 100%, you need your mates to tell you, hey, like pull your head in, man. This is like some serious stuff here.
Oh, you could kill yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, I feel like for us as guys, that's why we need to be around each other, because like on our own, sometimes we're just too dumb. You know what I mean? Because we get carried away with stuff.
1,000% with cavemen, bro.
Yeah. It's a good. You pointed that out. Wow, boys, that was awesome.
Yeah, I shoot fish. I shoot fish now.
Yeah.
Basically, like, bro, you need to hold your breath. You need to regulate. You need to manage your line. You need to do this.
Yeah.
It does make a difference when you with a group of people. When you're doing it on your own, like you said, you get your own pride and the competition, like diving back at home. Sometimes it's huge waves, 2-3 meter waves, and it's like, no, I want that fish. Oh, somebody else is there. Now I need to get one as well.
Yeah.
I need to punch it away. And the wave smash you. And once one wave crushes you, hit the floor, and it could hold you down.
Yeah.
You lose your gun. Now you need to look for your boy. Where's your gun? Where's the rocks? And you start praying, like, Lord, please get me out of here.
Help me survive one more dumb situation that I got myself into.
And I've had it where I was once I was in a huge way. I got to the back line, got a cray, saw the Garrick, and said, okay, I'm going to shoot Garrick now. And then next minute, a wave came out of nowhere, knocked me, took my gun to the back line in between the rocks. And it was my brand new gun. It was a second-hand gun, but I made it like brand new.
Yeah.
And I got OCD. So I made it like, this is my new gun. And I get there, and I'm like, I need my gun. But I need a fish.
Yeah.
So I prayed. Honestly, I prayed. I'm like, Lord, please, give me my gun, and I get out the water.
Yeah.
He gave me my gun, and I get out the water. And literally, I was holding onto the line, which is a mistake you should never do. I wrapped the line around my hand when I got close.
Yeah.
And the wave hit me and jammed my fingers. And it was holding me under the water. And I hit the surface, a couple of breaths of air, and I was like, Lord, please just give me my gun.
Yeah.
And I'll go. I'll leave the fish. And literally, I swam down, I touched the gun, and it just moved out of place. And I was like, fine. Then I was like, second guessing it. Like, and I was like, honestly, I started thinking that, and I thought to myself, you're going to lie to yourself, you're going to lie to a promise that you've made.
Yeah.
Get out the water.
Yeah.
I sat there, and I was a little sore. I sat on the beach. Why? And I was like, no, it's your time to go home. There's a time and a place for everything. And if you had too much pride and don't think of those things, you could harm yourself.
Quickly.
Yeah, you guys have touched on a few good risk points too, like big swell, current. Obviously then there's the risk of blackout and stuff like that. One other thing that you guys talked about and touched on, and I wouldn't mind talking a bit more about, was the switch from a float line or a rig line and float or buoy to a belt reel or reel gun. Michael, it sounds like you made that adaptation a bit further along. What are the sort of things that you remember, and what things would you tell others if they're making that switch themselves?
It's a good question. When I initially got into spearfishing, when I was just, doing some snorkeling and shooting small fish and that type of thing, I thought that was the only way to set up your spear gun and to set it up with a float line and a buoy. I didn't know about belt reels. I didn't know about gun reels. I'd watched a few YouTube videos, and that seemed to be the natural way to start. So I started there. And for me, I found that the float, because I was doing a lot of shore diving at the time, I was getting caught on rocks and things, and you'd get snags, and it got quite frustrating for a period of time there. And then, but maybe a year later or so, I bumped into Rudi, and Rudi's on the reel gun, on the belt reel, and I'm like, that looks so efficient.
Yeah.
You just clip on, shoot. The kingy pulls out some line off the gun reel, and you can battle it from there. I'm like, so why am I dealing with all of this float line and floats and things? So for me, I think it was a pretty quick transition to using the gun reel, and I've been comfortable with it ever since. There's only been one occasion where my gun reel has been stripped all the way to the butt.
Yeah.
That was the Lee Reef situation. Shot a kingy, stoned it. I thought, I'll just swim it up to the surface. Didn't bother pulling it in quickly. We were diving in maybe 3 meters of viz, and got to the boat. I put my gun on the boat. I was just about to jump in. Rudi grabbed my gun, and all of a sudden, the line started peeling out at 1,000,000 miles an hour out the back of the boat. Rudi grabbed onto the gun, pushed his hand into the gun reel to try and slow it down. And basically a big bronze whaler had hit my kingy and taken it and steamed off. Yeah. And fortunately, the gun reel hit the gun whale on the back of the boat and dislodged the shark. But that's really been the only situation where I've sort of felt like, I might need to get onto the belt reel. So, I mean, unless we're going to be targeting big fish, definitely if we were going for massive kingies, I would be using definitely be using a float and a float line, setting up a breakaway, that type of thing. But
for big fish.
Yeah, for big fish, definitely. But I've been very comfortable using the gun reel and the belt reel. It just feels really efficient for me.
Yeah.
So,
what about the characteristic of the line and the way it behaves? Like Dyneema and like a sort of a more, most rig lines have got a bit of memory base in it and they're a thicker, more manageable line. Whereas like Dyneema seems to like to tangle around snorkels and fins and bodies and weight belts and knives. And have you had many issues with that?
Not too many. When they do come about, it's normally involving a kingfish, but very, very rare. We are very careful with our line management in the water.
Two people for one fish.
So we'll
say that again. Sorry, Rudi.
Always do 2 people per one fish. We rarely ever go double up. Oh, even if there's a shoal hanging around the fish, we will protect the one fish and the diver.
Yeah.
And it's not about slamming the fish. It's about getting the fish on the boat safely. So the other diver is making sure that the line is everywhere while you paying attention to just fighting the fish. Okay, that's the rule on the boat. We always say before we get it, is it 1 or is it 2? We always say it's always 1 unless you stone the fish. And it's a clear stone shot and the shoulder's around and it's safe, then we take 2. Yeah, imagine having 2 fish on at the same time and there's 5 bronzies that rock.
Yeah.
No one can fend off. Oh, big stories now.
Yeah.
Sorry, Michael, we interrupted you there. You were still...
Sorry, no, that's all good. I mean, we're very mindful of it, and the Dyneema that we run on our reels is high vis. It's either bright orange or it's white, so you can keep a good track of it. It's not black or brown or green and that type of thing. So I've been very mindful when I'm shooting fish that I'm trying to swim up current, so that the line will come behind me and I'll keep an eye on where it is. But yeah, I've enjoyed the gun reel, the belt reel. It's really convenient. If I'm doing shore dives, then I'll grab the float line and the float boat, Kaiwaka Iki from Ocean Hunter. But I think
there's another couple of safety issues I wanted to touch on. One is like visibility with boats, because you're not running a float and no flag, and sometimes I'm imagining you guys are drifting further from the boat. How do you manage boat traffic, the risk of boat strikes and stuff like that? Do you have much dramas with that, boat traffic?
We've got a dive flag on the boat, pretty high.
Yeah.
And what I tend to do all the time, I always see a boat coming from a distance, and I would block them from coming into my drift line. So just like, say, we were diving Lee Reef and one of the boats were coming around and the boys were doing a drift down, I would shoot past towards that boat and block him off.
Yeah, nice.
If I'm top man, to see that somebody, and even if they do come close, I'll just kindly let them know, listen, I've got divers in the water, and I'll always keep a perimeter around them. And if I see a boat coming towards them, I'd go towards the boat.
Yeah,
so
nice.
I'm the blockage.
Yeah, I
so
understand.
they have to pass me type of thing.
That's cool.
We've had 2 instances with the other boats coming too close, but they were coming to anchor.
Yeah.
And a little bit of argument, just, hey guys, we got guys in the water. Yeah, but we come to fish. Type of thing, you know?
Yeah. What is it with people wanting to come and anchor right next to each other anyway? It's like we're in a big ocean. Come on.
I had a guy at Lee Reef, man, literally come and steaming on his little rubber duck, come zipping onto me. I just boated a fish, so obviously saw me boat a fish. He came literally and bumped into me with his boat and threw his anchor over my anchor rope, and then jumped in the water right next to me, and his boat was literally touching mine. I was like, serious? Bro, what's actually happening here? Crossing my anchor rope that close. So great.
You can go anywhere down there, but hey, good morning.
That's the problem when you've got too many South African immigrants in New Zealand.
There he is.
In Aussie, when I'm talking to other South Africans in a group, I'll say, "You bloody South Africans coming to Australia taking Kiwi jobs," you know. You know, and then all the Aussies get a good laugh out of it too, you know. So, because
that's a classical one, eh?
Yeah, you guys, you're welcome to use that. It works on any nationality. Yeah, awesome. I was going to say one other risk I think about is just muzzle wraps, or your line binding up on the reel. Obviously, you've got a backup belt reel there in that situation, but sometimes it's goodbye to your spear gun, isn't it? I guess if you can't get it all sorted quickly enough.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. We all run belt reels now.
Yeah.
I personally haven't had
a jam on the reel.
No, I haven't had a jam on a reel.
I've had a jam on the reel once. Rob Allen has a quick release.
Yep.
Luckily.
Yeah.
But it's all situation based and scenario based. Like if you have the clarity of mind in the situation and scenario to stop and be like, oh, I'll just unclip my belt reel and leave it floating because it won't sink. It's plastic. It'll just like submerge itself slowly down. But yeah, it's
that mocky that you shot, that Taparanui, when you shot that mocky and you had that muzzle wrap, but then you just
spun on
eased off the belt rail, swam up slowly.
Yeah, nice.
Take your time, bring it in. I guess you just have to be prepared for those situations, eh? And if you do have to do the quick release on all the gear,
you can always find your gear. You can't buy a lot.
That's
as well as that's why we always put a lot of pressure on each other about checking gear, making sure everything's functional. But there is times where you can't even explain how you got the muzzle. How your belt reel just jammed out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But it's at the same time, you need to remember you can replace that. You can't replace a lot.
Yeah.
And your dive buddies shouldn't be fast, so call for help. If they can get to you in time to help, or you just release.
Yeah.
Buy new gear.
Yeah, cool. Another massive part of the Killshot Spearguns family is depth charge charters. They don't just make functional and simple, reliable spearguns. These guys also bring amazing freedive spearfishing charters to the waters around the Florida Keys, particularly around the reefs of Isla Morada. Now, they've got a bunch of captains and legends, licensed freediving instructors, doing line diving, freediving courses, upping your spearfishing, going on spearfishing charters. Check it out at killshotspearguns.com. Email the team at killshotspearguns@gmail.com. But check it out. These guys have got a good thing going in the Florida area. If you are looking to do a freediving course or get out on a spearfishing charter in that part of the world, check it out at killshotspearguns.com and check out Depth Charge Charters. Massive thanks to today's sponsor, Dog and Gun Coffee. It's bloody good coffee, ready for adventure. They use specialty grade beans and roasted fresh in Brisbane by a small Aussie team. Their most popular product, and this is one that I love myself, are the preloaded drip filters, which allow you to have cafe quality coffee anywhere. And I use them out on my Stratty spearfishing adventures. It is legit cafe quality coffee that you can make with simple boiling water. Add your own milk and sugar. Well, that's what I do anyway. Their owners, Sean and Rach, are keen hunters in and out of the water and want to encourage more people to get outdoors. That's pretty much the vision of Dog and Gun Coffee. Check it out at dogandguncoffee.com.au. Use the code NOOB10 to save 10%. Can't get better than that. Go to dogandguncoffee.com.au. Again, hey, I like the Sandbar Dark Roast as well. Check that out at Dog and Gun Coffee. Spear Ready is a 50-day training program designed to get you in shape to make the most of your spearfishing. It's a 50-day cross-training program designed to put you in shape and not feel like you don't have any breath hold when you arrive on your trip. If you can go spearfishing during the week during this program, you can even subtract something from the workout. I can guarantee that no other prep program is saying that. Check it out at noobspearo.com/spearready. There are always frothers training and trying to prepare and get in shape. It's a great way to stay motivated and do it together with our private Facebook group. Check it out again, noobspearo.com/spearready.
Let's go quickly to each year. We are running away with time because we're just having a good old chat, but I'd love to hear about a memorable fish from each year.
We
Most
spoke about this earlier, eh?
most memorable capture.
For me, it was a tuna, yellowfin tuna. Never landed it, never shot it. But I was diving with a mate. I was diving with one of my mates, and he called out and was like, "Hey, there's bottles. We call them bottles, but they were small tuna. Shot through about 50 of them." And I was like, yeah, I saw them. And then it's a 25 kilo tuna pops up on my right-hand side. And I was facing him, and I looked to my right, I saw it come. So I took the roller and I turned it towards him, and literally he stunned me to see that fish so close up, the eye, the colors, the fins, the everything. But I've followed him all the way through until he was out of my range. Then my brain switched on. It was like, yeah, it's coming that way. Go down. Like, for me, like the one fish will be that one.
Yeah.
That it'll never go out of my mind. Having to see one so close.
Yeah.
And see those colors.
The one that got away, I reckon they're always the ones that stick out the most when you think of memorable fish.
Like a sore thumb.
Yep.
Like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
Michael, was that first kingy one of your most special fish?
Yeah, it's a toss-up between that one and kingy I shot at Matauri Bay on Waitangi weekend.
Epic.
Be a toss-up between those two.
Well, tell us about that one. Tell us about the second one.
The Matauri Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got a leave pass for about 3 nights. So we towed the boat up to Matauri Bay. It's about a 4.5-hour tow, just up past the Bay of Islands there. We actually took the freezer as well in the boat too. I'll tell you, it was a whole freezer. It was amazing. But yeah, we were based up at the campground there, and then one day we shot out to the Cavalli Islands, just a short run from Matauri Bay there. We were diving a pin on the northeast corner. It was probably about the 12 meter mark, that type of depth. And our mate, to the pin, and our mate Max, who's one of the crew, Mahi dog, Max East, the ginger, with some ginger nuts. That guy, he shot the first fish of the day. So we were sitting above this pin, and we could actually see the kingies from the surface
On the flasher,
shoveling around the flasher on top of the pin. He went down, stoned a kingy. And we had this rule, one fish at a time. So I wasn't going down. And then I said to Rudi something. He was like, "Oh, get down there. The fish is in the bag." So I subbed down and leveled out just above the pin there. And then just had this enormous shoal of kingies just come buzzing through. They came back around. And then they come back around one more time. And I was able to pick out the biggest in the shoal. But it was darting in and around and behind, and I was trying to line it up and managed to just get a shot off into it. It was a little bit further forward than I wanted to, and it just gave me gears. It absolutely steamed me. The belt reel was screaming. I was trying to hold on to the line. The Dyneema was just, I could feel it fizzing through the gloves.
Yeah.
And it must have pulled about 40 metres of line. It took me probably 5 or 6 minutes even to get it up to about 20 metres.
Yeah.
Then Rudi subbed down and got a second shot into it. And
nice.
I filmed this whole thing. I was literally behind with the handheld mounts behind him.
Oh, cool.
It was the most epic footage. I think 2024 best footage of the year.
Is that a video on your channel?
Yeah, man.
Oh,
yeah.
Can you remember the title of the video?
It'll be called Matauri Bay Part 2. Something like that, Matauri Bay Part 2. So that was an absolutely memorable trip because we all shot kingies. We shot a lot of pinkies. We got granddaddy harpockers. We got, pack horse cray.
That footage, mate. It's 2024 so far for me, in my opinion. Like, if we had to have a viewer's vote, I would say that that's the best clip we have for 2024.
Yeah, nice. That was the thing. That was my...
The way you leveled out, man.
You was like this. Yeah. It was
Cool.
just the bird's eye view Rudi had. I had the GoPro running as well. But that was my PB. So it was a 22 kilo kingy. So...
Oh, nice. I'll try and link that up. That's a beautiful fish. Very cool story.
Yeah. But the other one would have been the first kingy that Rudi got me onto. Shot that one mid-water, maybe 6 meters. The viz was real good that day. And it was quite funny, actually, because the fish actually started swimming up current back towards the boat, helping me to get back to the boat because I was about 200 meters downstream getting steamed. So I was just sort of letting it do its thing and tow me up, eh?
It was epic. I just look up and I see Mike. See a kingy. I'm like, what is that? And I look and then I see Mike just being towed casually up the current. It's like, g'day, mate. And I'm like, he just shot an absolute bruiser. He's like, I think I did. I'm like, you think you did? Like, look, what?
That's cool.
I didn't know at the time, mate, because I was like, was this a good kingy? And
I
he's
think
like,
it was at least
18 kilos.
Yeah, 16, 18 kilos. It was a good
That's a
fish.
cracker first kingy. Wow.
I was in my surfing, my surfing wetsuit,
hilarious,
massive knives.
Sure.
And that was a memorable
I did a thing.
That was cool.
What about for you, Rudi? Most memorable?
But before I came to New Zealand, I immigrated 7 years ago. There was 3 weeks before I left, and I've had the most insane diving ever in my whole entire life. In those 3 days of diving, we shot 1.3 tons of fish in 3 days of diving.
Wow.
Danny was out the same day, and it was just like an anomaly that there's a reef out there off the Unkamas coast called Alawal Shoal. It's a pinnacle that comes up from 45 to about 8 meters below the surface. And it's a north-south facing pinnacle. So if you have a north-south current, the front face makes the best scenario for bait and everything. And the Wahoo, mate, was just on. When we got out there, the water was so warm when we were driving, you could feel the warmth from the ocean. Right. Jumped in and it was purple. When we say the water's purple, then you know it's 30 meter plus. 30 meter plus. First day, banged 4 Wahoos that day. Then the second day we went back and there were so many more boats. And it was about the second drift of the day. And we drifted past the pin and then you get to another spot called Cathedrals. It's like a big cavern. Got through Cathedrals, and when I got there, the water changed a bit from about 25 meters to about 10 to 15 meters of a bit of haze. So I was like, okay, whatever, good space, good place to hunt fish where there's a water change and clarity. Just stayed there, floated in there a bit, and trues Bob, 53 kilo sailfish just popped out, right in front of me. Just popped out right in front of me, and I was like, easy, poof, behind the head, and I shook him, and he stoned, he shook like this, and I was like, I stoned it. Came up, shouted for the boat. Fish on, fish on, fish on. I looked down and the sailor just said, second gear, mate. See you on the horizon. And he just took off, stripped me to the belt. I tightened up, let the gun straight onto the belt, screaming. By the time my other mate Gareth had been dropped in the water, grabbed on the back of my weight belt, just the two of us trying to kick after this fish, the boat next to us, and then managed to get it close. Got the fish between my legs, and I was so involved with trying to end the fish and just get put it to sleep. I look to my left, and there's a massive 2 bull sharks, maybe 2 meters, coming head on to me. Now I've got this salie in between my legs like this, and I can only just kick my fins at them. So I turned, and I'm like, no. And luckily they turned off me, and the boat was right there. Managed to boat the fish.
Oh, wow.
They left me on the boat for the rest of the day. They were like, you're not diving for the next 4 hours. We're diving. But yeah, but there was just line everywhere, bro. The reel line, the belt reel line. I was using my mate's 1.4. It's like, oh, you've ruined all my line. It's like, bro, don't be a hater. Like I shot, you get segregated because you shot the biggest fish of the day.
That's stink.
And they all like, oh, we want to dive now. We want to dive. And then they each got 4 Wahoos each, so it managed to balance out. But what a day!
Wow.
Yeah, I also think that was my the one fish that got away was that, but my most memorable was that same day. But I was diving with Jakub Lichtnoot.
Yep.
Yeah, what a legend. Just to watch him dive is next level. Like that man got gills behind his ears. Like, true.
He was all our mentors. So when you were a young diver,
you look up to him.
You knew Jakub.
Yeah. So I managed to dive with him, and we dived in the shoal of Wahoo. And just going down, you got walls, 1,000 Wahoo coming towards you.
It's like walls of migrating fish.
Wow.
And you just stay still, and they just open up. And then you just bob on your flash, and one of them are going to be dumb enough, and they turn and to come look at your flash. And as he banks, you go from behind. And we got Wahoo that day. But just everything on that day was perfect. Guys got Salies, Marlin, Wahoos, GTs.
Wow.
Like you name it. It was crazy.
Saw my mate lose his gun that day to a black marlin. I was coming up, and I like looked to my left, and my mate Dave looks to my left, and I just see this like black marlin just arcing away. I'm like, that's a marlin. And then I look more to my left, and I see Dave diving on the marlin coming down. I'm like, mate, you want a real gun? like, no. And I hear the shot go off. It comes out, fish on, fish on. I'm like, I'm not helping you, bro. You see this marlin, lost the gun, everything, just smashed them to pieces.
Oh.
The only sad thing is that we couldn't fund GoPros and things at that time.
Yeah.
And there's so much memory I have. I wish I had on film, like the things that I've seen.
Yeah, man. Oh.
And it's unbelievable.
Have you guys made the switch to Osmo yet? The DJI?
No, we've heard about it. Definitely heard about it.
Is that a bit of influence from your side?
Oh, no, I've got no interest either way. I've got GoPros, but a lot of my mates are switching to Osmos. Like some of the new guys that have just started around me, they've all just bought Osmos from the start, and they're cheaper. I think you get the action pack, and the batteries last long. Like even the footage just seems richer and nicer. And
I've heard about them.
Yeah,
I've heard they're really good, very rich color, eh?
Yeah, have a bit of a look at the side-by-side comparison. Like Aaron Young from Key West Waterman, I think he's got a good comparison on his YouTube channel. But yeah, a lot of people are sort of raving about it, and I'm likely that'll be my next camera. I think maybe the 5. I think the 5 is out. So
okay,
yeah.
Okay, yeah, but it's a real game changer. Like we were running GoPro 4s for a little while.
Yeah. They were good. The blacks, they were awesome.
Yeah. They did the job.
Yeah.
But everything's so much richer now, on the 10s, eh? Yeah. We're all running 10s. But yeah, they're amazing for learning as well, so we can review the footage. Why did we miss this shot? Yeah. How was this situation a bit different? We generally review a lot of our footage as a way of actually learning and upskilling as well. And I think it's amazing to capture all of this footage, but keep it as well and publish it. And so it's always there. That's one of the things I said with my daughters as well. I said to them when they were really young, because they knew I was obviously into my hunting and that, I said, when you guys turn 8, I'm going to take you on a hunting trip.
Oh, nice.
So I've documented those 2 hunting trips.
Oh, that's cool.
Got all the footage, and they can always look back at that. I can look back at that, show other people, because it's very easy to film things, and then you might lose footage, and you never see it again. In this day and age, everything's digital.
He's a good guy. We'll keep him. He's a good one. He's cute.
I think that's the purest motive, like for a video log. It's like it's capturing memories for a lifetime, and those sorts of things. They will shape your children's lives,
Yep.
So,
And
cool.
And at the time when you are capturing the footage, you kind of, you're like, oh, they're going to go set the camera up here and then walk past it and then go and put it up on this tree. At the time, you're like, oh, there's a lot of dynamics here and carrying extra cameras, chargers, batteries. But when you get the finished final product, it's all worth it.
I love all those. I love all the little tight, clever shots that people do. You know, like chambering around. You know, like the action of lifting a rifle and looking down the sights if it's open sights or even into a scope. Like all that, they're a little bit corny to capture, but when you put a film together, that sort of B-roll just is so cool. I feel like in spearfishing, we're still not doing it that well.
We have a saying, cutaways are king.
Yeah.
Cutaways are king. Just film a cutaway.
Yeah.
Anything dynamic, just a cutaway is a king, honestly. Just brings a clip together.
Yeah. And it makes the editing experience more complex but more rewarding at the same time.
Yeah.
So we're all running GoPros plus Max. So we've often got 4 GoPros going. So we've got different points of view. Someone's under a fish, someone's above the fish, someone's from the boat. So clipping it all together, I think a lot of our episodes now, we're really blending those sort of cutaways, the scenes, point of view.
Yeah.
Everyone's contributing conversation and character. So we're trying to pull the characters out of these guys.
Yeah, that's the way. It's hard learning to be natural on camera and talk to a camera just like it's your mate. You know, because it always feels a little bit contrived and corny, and I'm still like learning how to do it and push through, but it's hard. I was chatting with Tim McDonald last night. I don't know if you guys have seen his YouTube channel.
Yeah. What a legend.
We watch his videos.
He was talking about exactly the same stuff. I was like, sweet, we're all like that then, so it's good.
Yeah. Like I told him, I'm learning, getting there. I'm easy to do it when I'm by myself.
Yes, that's exactly what he says.
No.
Yeah.
But now, as soon as one of them are there, I'm like, they're like, okay, just do the scene quickly. He's going to skip it. Just do the scene quickly. You want to do it? You're going to talk about you don't want to do it in front of other people.
Yeah.
But when you're by yourself, we're in the water and I'm doing the recording from the boat and like going to them, it's like normal.
Yeah.
Boys, we got two of the boys in the market. Rudy's on a fish market.
What do you reckon? You just have to push through it and just keep doing it till it's normal?
It has to be natural.
It needs to be natural. And for me and for everyone, you need to remember is that they're not going to judge you.
No.
Because as we're speaking now, no one's judging each other. But you could put a camera out there.
Yeah.
And it could be filming.
Yeah.
So why is it different when you're trying to do it in front of them? And 100%. You're sitting with them, they're your mates. True. And if there is criticism, it should be positive. Trying to help each other and build each other. But it's for you as a person and your pride to remember that and be like, hey, they're only trying to help you. Like, don't worry about them. Yeah. But I'm still trying to cross that barrier. Like they're pretty easy. I'm still trying to get there.
Yeah. I think like some of the greatest footage that we have is, when people don't know that the GoPro's rolling. Just put it in the rod holder there and it's been on for 5 minutes. Oh, hey, you told me. That's all natural stuff. We're going to put that in the episode. So it's just meshing it all together. And I think what we're doing a bit more of now is, as I said, trying to get the sort of the personalities and the characters of each of us to know the audience and for the audience to know us as well. And as you said before, I think especially in New Zealand, the spearfishing community, I think, is still growing, but a lot of people don't know a lot about what spearfishing actually is.
Yeah.
So we probably forget that.
Yeah.
So explaining what we're doing, I think, is really important. We just sort of assume everyone knows that you're going to sub down and hold the breast and shoot fish and all the fish.
Don't chase a pinky. If there's a pinky around, don't chase it down. When I first started, diving here, and these fish, chase. And that thing will take you to 50 meters if you can hold him at 50 meters.
End up at 50 meters,
He
mate.
just goes. Until one of them was like, hey, you don't chase one. They let it come up. You don't chase it.
Yeah, just thinking, I think maybe you guys could do with like making some episodes quite focused around one central character. You know what I mean? Like, like you kind of like you're filming natural B-roll of each other anyway. So then one day when Rudi has a ripper day, like you could have, Rudi's ripper day at the Kings or something, and then, do you know what I mean? And then make the episode kind of, he's the focal point for the episode. It's not an ego thing, but it just kind of makes it more, and then you get to expand a bit more on his character and who he is. Like, that'd be pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Food for thought.
For each of us.
Yeah. But just sort of like let it naturally occur. When someone just has a ripper day, then just go, oh, sweet. Well, we know what we're doing for this episode, Because you guys do a real good job of like making it kind of about where you're going and sort of, but you can make it about a specific event and then build the whole episode for that. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, we've got some of those upcoming. So we've got 2 prize winners coming up.
Nice.
They've won a trip to the Mugs. So those episodes will be solely focused on them.
Cool. Oh, that's sick.
2 lots of trips, actually. Yeah. So one with the Spearo Diaries collab and then one before. So
Cool.
I'll be a lot more behind the camera than behind the gun on that one.
So stay tuned to Chase and Gather for that, eh? Yeah.
Stay tuned, team. Stay tuned.
Awesome.
Those would be good sessions. Yeah.
Did you know when coming up from a spearfishing dive, it's possible that you would feel 100% fine right until the moment you blacked out? Did you know being dehydrated or hungover increases your risk of having a blackout? Did you know I have never seen a person hit the surface and yell, "Tad, help, I'm about to black out, come save me"? No, they typically hit the surface, take a couple breaths, and then quietly sink into the abyss. Whether they live or die is 100% dependent on if you are close enough to grab them and take care of the situation. Did you know that if you have a loss of motor control or blackout and you continue diving that day, you are way more likely to have a much worse blackout? My name is Ted Hardy, the founder of Immersion Freediving, and I want to do more to stop the needless fatalities from shallow water blackout than any other person on the planet. And that's why I created freedivingsafety.com. You can learn how to reduce your risk of having a blackout, how to save your buddy's life, how to tell if you're wearing too much weight, and avoid breathing techniques that drastically increase your risk of having a blackout, and it's all for free. Go to freedivingsafety.com and sign up for my free safety course. Dive safe out there. It's not even that hard, especially when you can learn for free at freedivingsafety.com.
Check out the hardest hitting, heavy duty, dirty dogtooth tuna mastering floatline at oldmanblue.com.au. Not all floatlines are created equal, especially when landing a shot in a big, dirty fighting fish that just wants to drown your float. Slow them down with the Old Man Blue heavy duty floatline. It comes with a full brake system. Also included are heavy duty shark clips on both ends with D shackles. Included is a shock cord lanyard for keeping it neat and tidy on the boat. Check out the hardest hitting, heavy duty, dirty dogtooth tuna mastering floatline at oldmanblue.com.au. We're definitely at the hour and a half mark, guys, and I've had an absolute blast. I feel like we could chat for hours. I did want to talk a little bit more about a few things and then go to a faster pace round of questions. But other shout outs, like, do you guys have any sponsors, partners with what you're doing that you wanted to mention?
Yeah, so definitely we're supported by Ocean Hunter.
Yep.
They're a massive supporter for us, and we really appreciate the gear. We appreciate their endorsement of us as well. We just love going into these shops and having yarns half the time. We're not even getting gear. We're dropping off fish or, whatever it might be, some venison sausages. I think we dropped them the other day. But, so, and then we're also using some products as well, like Optical, which is the suit lube, which is incredible.
Yeah,
it is the bomb.
Optical.
It has been a game changer from
absolutely
using dishwashing liquid for a while.
Dishwashing liquid, body soap, body wash.
You've never used the lime green dishwashing liquid?
I've chatted with the lady from Optical. It's a seaweed based one, isn't it? And she's like fully into natural ingredients. Obviously, like some of the stuff in some of the other ones is a bit harmful for not only your skin and the suit, but also maybe the reef as well.
Yeah.
So she's pretty enviro conscious, and a Spearo herself, eh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cat.
Cat.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
right.
No, she's a good sort.
Yeah, sick.
We also get a bit of support through Burns Co as well.
Okay.
Because we're not just spearfishing all the time. We're flicking soft baits and top water and jigs and things
Yeah, I
like
saw
that.
that. I saw that.
Yeah. We mix it up quite a lot.
Yeah, this new episode.
The new episode's going to be quite a bit of bit of fishing episode
Smashing the trips
with our wetsuits on.
Action packed.
Yeah. So we get supported by a few local businesses. One just down the road here actually is Victory Knives.
Yep.
They've been introducing a few of their different knives to us.
I sell Victory knives in my knife pack. They make good
really?
stuff. Yeah. 100% love Victory stuff. Yep.
Yeah, so no, Garrett's an absolute champion. He's actually got the Chase and Gather logo put on a lot of the different blades as well. So
sick.
an awesome collab there on their drop point hunter knife and also their boning knife as well.
Awesome.
And then my boat, I use a Senator. So
yep.
They build their boats down in Napier. So I've got a side console 480.
They're a fiberglass boat, aren't they, Senators?
No.
Okay.
They're all alley.
Okay.
Yeah, change the boat.
Did they make fiberglass boats for a little while?
Good question.
I swear I was in a Senator glass boat over here. It was a Kiwi boat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Maybe they played around with it for a little bit. I'm not sure.
Possibly. But
right.
that boat's been an absolute game changer for me. Like I've taken the kids out, the wife, done spearfishing trips on it. So Senator's definitely an awesome, super stable boat. Absolutely wrapped with that thing. Who else do we get a bit of support from? We appreciate all of our followers as well.
Yeah.
From the community.
There's a new guys throw flashes. I don't know if you've seen.
Yeah.
Thickest throw flashes. They sent us a box. And the first time I ever used it, we were at the moats with Laura, and I chucked it inside a workup, and the kingy just came steaming through. Literally just steaming through on the throw flasher and then turned off. I was like, holy crap, these things work.
I think they're made just up the road from me, eh?
So they are sick ads.
Is that throwflashes.com.au? That's them, eh?
Yes.
Yeah,
that's the one.
I'm literally gonna take 2 or 3 of them. I'm gonna slice them in half, put them on my actual flasher.
Yeah.
Just use it as a dangle, but they are just so good.
They pop,
They pop.
They got different holographics on them. So
Yeah. I've seen them in action. I like them.
Right.
I like the look of them. They're really well put together.
Yeah.
And it sinks really slow because of I think that's the octagonal. Octagonal design that it sinks very slow. I think it's about half a meter a second, I would say.
Yeah,
it's
nice.
real slow. So it's real good stuff, yeah.
I like teaching people how to do that, just throw it and then, you have still 30 seconds of your breathe up left and then just gently go after it to the bottom and it's good fun.
I just need to take the time, eh?
Yeah.
And the thing is, when you shoot a fish, remember, you've got to get your flash.
Yeah.
Remember to go get it.
That's how I got my first few, finding them on the bottom from someone else's. But obviously, if you hook into a big Spanish mackerel over here or something or a big kingy in NZ, you're probably going to not worry too much about the flasher.
100%.
Yeah.
Sorry, we had that conversation the other day.
Yeah. They're like, whoopsies.
It was this beautiful throw flasher that's just disappearing while my kingy is absolutely steaming me. Opportunity cost.
Awesome. Guys, if you want to go and follow these legends, they are Chase and Gather, Instagram, Facebook, and obviously their YouTube channel is probably their biggest focal point. I definitely encourage you to go over there and subscribe to their channel. They're making wicked stuff above and below the water. So, and awesome to get you guys on the show. Can we head on out with a faster pace round of questions, fellas?
Let's go.
I'll just go. We'll go Rudi first, Michael second, Danny third. How's that sound?
Yeah, Roger.
All right. Rudi, what's the single best piece of advice you've ever been given for spearfishing?
Patience.
Oh.
Patience before the trigger.
Oh, nice. Michael, who has been the most influential person in your spearfishing?
Mr. Rudi.
Rudi.
Brownie points.
Danny, if you had to start all over again, what would you do differently?
Good question.
Oh, shit. Why are you giving a hard one? What would I do differently? I would try harder. Try harder from the get-go, from the beginning.
You mean just like have a singular focus sort of thing?
Yeah, have a singular focus when shooting, not getting too buzzed out by too many fish, just wanting to shoot fish and focusing on one fish, learning the fish, and then getting what you want to get.
Okay.
Instead of taking so much time and you don't really learn all the type of fish.
Yep.
And then you just say, oh, yeah, I can shoot fish, but not a specific one.
Love it. All right. Rudi, what would be your fish of a lifetime?
Oh, we just had this conversation. A 10 kilo or 20 pound speckled snapper.
Ooh.
It's one of the elusive fish. It's so elusive. So that would be my steamer.
Okay. Michael, this is a good, difficult question for you. Who is the best person to go spearfishing with and why?
There you go. That's strategically placed on my guess.
He's right in the middle. I had to give it to him.
Probably wisely, my friend.
I know. Close your ears, guys. It's probably myself because it's quietest.
Touche. Good one. No, good one.
Yeah, I've got to be careful.
I think with the three of you guys, you guys have relationships that transcend the activity of spearfishing, you know? And so going spearfishing with mates like that is always pretty special because you care just as much about them as you do about actually going spearing. So
this is the whole thing. Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, nice. Last question for Danny. You love the hard questions, I heard you say before. So could you describe what the spearfishing experience means to you in one sentence?
Chase and gather.
Oh, you killed it. That was awesome. That was a great answer. Boys, I've had a blast chatting with you. It's been, I felt like just having a good laugh with you fellas. And I've had a good time. Thanks for coming on the show.
It's been amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us. Appreciate it. Thanks for having us, Shrek. It's been awesome, bro.
No worries. Go follow these guys. Chase and gather everywhere, guys. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Hey, guys. Hope you enjoyed today's interview. Absolute gentlemen, Michael, Rudi and Danny from Chase and Gather. Go and follow them on Instagram. Jump on their YouTube channel and watch some of those videos we chatted about today. I hope you enjoyed the banter and the fun I had with these fellas. Again, they really reminded me of that New Zealand lifestyle. I think it's just incredibly iconic. If you're an outdoors person, they have a special place in the world. It's an amazing country for that. And their YouTube channel celebrates that. So Chase and Gather Life. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Absolute legends. Hey, earlier in the episode, I talked about the Whitsunday Sail and Spear trip. Next August 2025, there are 2 trips back-to-back. If you want to jump on and secure yourself a spot for $500, go to spearfishingcourses.com.au. There's 2 trips back-to-back. They will be filled with frothers. And I mean frothers of the highest kind, like just really like-minded people. 4 nights and 5 days out on the outer reef beyond the Whitsundays. And sailing and spearfishing actually makes sense. It's a really fun trip, I've got to tell you. Can't oversell it enough. Anyway, jump on. I'd love to have a whole bunch of frothers from the podcast come and jump on. It'll be a really cool time, just like it was this year. I'm looking forward to back-to-back trips next year. Hey, all good, guys. Hey, as usual, leave a review for the podcast wherever you listen. There's more than 200 on Spotify now. Thank you, guys. Apple Podcasts, always good to leave reviews there. And tell your mates about it. If you want to go even that extra mile, go to patreon.com/Noob Spearo and put some fuel in the Noob Spearo outboard week by week. I would super appreciate that. And hey, as usual, it's an absolute pleasure to bring this podcast to you. Thanks for being a bunch of legends. See you in 2 weeks. Oh, I better tell you about the next episode. I have got Shark Love and Comp Passion. See what I did there? Paul Best and Jackson Shields, 2 absolutely very competitive legends from New Zealand, but also these guys have fun. I got to tell you, they were like bridesmaids so many years in comps, and they've won a few though, and they are a pair of characters. So come back in 2 weeks for that. Paul Best and Jackson Shields. I'll see you then, guys. Arriving on day 1 of the spearfishing trip of a lifetime and feeling underdone, unfit, and out of breath is incredibly underwhelming. Well, I've got a great solution for you today. Go to noobspearo.com/spear ready and take part in a 50-day preparation program to get you into shape to make the most of a trip of a lifetime. This is a 50-day journey designed to get you in great shape to make the most of this trip. I consulted a bunch of legends to help me put together this program, including Adam Stern, Australian freediving legend, Jared Rosenberg from Earth and Ocean Fit, and Dr. Jaap Verbaas, author of Longer and Deeper, as well as a bunch of others to help me put together a 50-day program that will get you results. And I know it works. We've put a bunch of groups through this now, and people have seen huge improvements and landed on a charter or a trip and actually been able to tap into some of their best spearfishing fitness. Check it out at noobspearo.com/spearready. Jump in a 50-day program to make the most. If you are 2 months out from that trip of a lifetime, let me encourage you, get spear ready. Go to noobspearo.com/spear ready. Are you US based, looking for freediving, spearfishing gear? Neptonics is the best. Their online website, so easy to use. If you've got any questions, Jerry and the team answer questions via phone, email. Anyway, they've got an easy contact form on the site. These guys are absolute legends, and if they sell it, they believe in it, they back it, they use it themselves. It's tough gear that works. Visit neptonics.com. Use the code NOOB10 to save 10% on any order at neptonics.com. That's right, use the code NOOB10, N-O-O-B 10 on your next order. Save 10% at neptonics.com. Today's Noob Spearo podcast is brought to you in partnership with Adreno. Live it, breathe it with the world's largest dive store. Huge range of equipment, always growing, always changing. They are the world's largest dive store. They are available just about everywhere. They have hassle-free returns, massive range of equipment, price match guarantee, and you can check them out online. You can even use the code Noob Spearo to save $20 on every purchase over $200 at adreno.com.au. Check them out. Boom.